We're back with another 3 tips video on how to get better with Grand Cathay, i.e. and or stop making these mistakes I keep seeing from players. What do we have here? Oh yeah, people tell me to keep saying like and subscribe at the start of the video, so I'm not gonna do that. Haha, you get no reminder to like and subscribe. I've beaten you, YouTube algorithm. You are a fool beneath my power. Anyway, things I keep seeing on Grand Cathay, armies that do not work, especially multiplayer, but hey, maybe some of these tips will be useful in campaign, though this one not as much because it's about money. I have 2 different Grand Cathay armies here. We have a flying dragon-blooded Shugenin Lord with a nice summon that does a lot of damage and then a useful slow. We have an Iron Hail Gunner, 4 Peasant Long Spears to defend it, and 2 Jade Lancers, 2 heavy cavalry. Wow, that is a nice small army, well-rounded. That's very cool. And on the other side, we have Gotrek with only Gotrek's Doom. We have Miao Ying, the Storm Dragon, with Earthblood Talons of Night. And then we have Felix with his Helping Hand. That is just 3 characters. These 2 bubbles cost the exact same amount of gold. It's not just my hatred of Hero Hammer. I also literally never see this win. You just take up so little space on the battlefield. Your opponent can ignore you, or cycle charge you, or cast spells on you, or kite you and shoot you for free. This Hero Hammer, I don't see it a ton anymore, but whenever I see it, it does lose. It sounds good in theory. You're like, oh man, Felix is going to heal them both up, and then Miao Ying can heal them, and they'll just grind through everything. And whenever there's a blob of infantry, we'll hit them with Talons of Night. But in reality, these 3 need to kill as much stuff as this whole army could, and not just easily get avoided. And then the rest of your build is going to be this many units smaller. So you'll have 2 less Jade Lancers defending your flanks. You'll have 4 less Peasant Long Spearmen to hold the line. You'll have 1 less Iron Hail Gunner that can instantly delete, a greater demon. And then obviously you don't have this Lord because you'll have Miao Ying, but she's flying and cheaper and faster than Miao Ying. Miao Ying can start flying, but she's still expensive and slower. So it's just too much money for way too little map presence and damage, and I've never seen it win. So if you are a newer player getting into multiplayer, I know it is tempting to take Gotrek, Felix, and Miao Ying and make this tiny little blob, but it's not only boring to watch, it also does not have a good win rate. All right, next up is for supporting sources of harmony. And this one is interesting to me. I think it's a campaign thing, but some people really hate the Shanggu War Drum, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm guessing because it's apparently terrible in campaign, but still. So you can see I have 3 sets of Jade Warrior Crossbows and Jade Warriors. These 2 are the widest apart. They just are. I position them further apart. You can see both of them are getting their harmony buffs. Meanwhile, the Sky Lantern isn't even giving that Jade Warrior Crossbow its buff somehow. Oops, I forgot that's when I was supposed to pause. 1 second. Okay, I paused it this time. Anyway. Oh, that's it. Gotcha. That's what I was trying to show. I forgot. So this Sky Lantern is providing the Jade Warriors with the buff, but Jade Warrior Crossbows are far enough away from the Jade Warriors that they're not getting the harmony buff. So now these guys are unbuffed. This one's supposed to show that you could have the Sky Junk here for some artillery fire, and it gives the Jade Warriors yin and yang harmony, but then if you want your Jade Warrior Crossbows to get it, they have to position closer. And the Zhengdu War Drum is showing that they can be further away. But also you get the Disdain of the Dragon Emperor. So anyway, I was just trying to say with this that I see 3 different forms of trying to get harmony. I don't really want to call it cheese because that's too mean, but they'll have a melee blob with a couple Sky Lanterns or a Sky Junk, and then all the units on the ground get the harmony buffs, and then you have this crazy tanky hard to kill thing in the sky that's constantly providing it. But the Zhengdu War Drum's just better at it. It has a far longer range, so it can apply both harmonies to either unit, which is very, very nice. All your range units get buffs while this, does that as well. Its circle is much wider than the other 2's little harmony circles are, though that's more of a range spotting circle over there. And then it has, of course, the Disdain of the Dragon Emperor, or the Bastion of the Great Cities. It's unbreakable, it's cheaper, it's lower to the ground, so it is harder to shoot while not being that hard to shoot, and you have the Icon of the Great Cities. So it kind of gives super Harmony, because Harmony just gives 6 leadership, 6 melee defense, 6 melee attack. Cool, that's fine. But then this thing can give 8 more melee attack and 8 leadership. So it's kind of like double Harmony, longer range for both unit types. Same over here. I mean, you get 10 reload skill and immune to psychology, while this just gives you 18 reload skill and some leadership. So it gives more leadership and about half extra reload skill. Zhengdu War Drum has been making a lot of waves in multiplayer, and I just think it is a better support unit than either of these two. The Sky Junk also functions as a bit of an artillery piece, so if in your campaign you're like, but it's great in sieges, sure, that I'll give you that one. It's better at sieging towns and stuff. But I would argue its missile attack isn't strong enough to outdo it in regular outside of city fights than the Zhengdu War Drum. So this is my little petition for the campaign people out there. Don't hate on the Zhengdu War Drum. This thing's better than you give it credit for. It's real good. Real good unit. And finally, the Grand Cathay tip. I've had to say for, I think, about a year now, this bug question mark has been in the game. It didn't used to be a bug. It used to be a balanced decision, but there was a thing. CA was trying to buff Grand Cathay, and they gave formation attack melee defense. I think it was either 4 or 8. But if a unit was in formation attack, it would get 4 or 8 extra melee defense to make up for this problem that I'm about to show you. But when Grand Cathay was considered to be too overpowered for a while, they ended up shadow nerfing it. I don't know if it was a bug, I don't know if it was a decision, but after a certain patch, formation attack no longer gives melee defense. These 2 sections of 3 Celestial Guard, I gave them buffs just because I'm trying to get them as much melee attack as possible to make this test not take 100 years. But one side is in formation attack, one side is not. You can see both their melee defenses are the exact same. So tip number 3 for Grand Cathay is turn formation attack off every fight all the time. There is no possible benefit to using formation attack besides it kind of looks cool. It does not make your units significantly tankier. It just reduces the amount of models that are going to run up and make contact with the enemy, which again, you're like, well, it's meant to make them tankier, so less models making contact, less models taking damage. Nah, dude, the units in the front are just going to be fighting 3v1s instead of 1v1s. They're going to die 3 times as quickly, and then they'll move on to the next line. So in the end, it's a bit of a wash. You just do less damage back. So here we go. Front lines are engaging. It's been a while since I set up this replay between the things. So I believe this side is formation attack, yeah. Okay, so we have the formation attack troops. A lot of their guys standing back, not participating. The second row doesn't want to get involved. Meanwhile, these guys cluster up much closer and a lot more models get into melee contact. And they just do more damage overall. They're more consistent about it. And they also have less unit jank when it comes to, like, participating in battles, especially when you're fighting single entities. I guess I could have done this test with single entities, but a lot of your units just standing around not engaging in single entities is pretty brutal. But all I'm trying to say with this is the formation attack makes your units perform a little weirder, and they do not get melee defense bonus. That tooltip is lying to you. If that's your main argument for why you'd want that, it's not true. Melee defense will be slightly increased. 49, 49. The tooltip is outdated. Do not use formation attack based on the tooltip. We can see the bottom, the non-formation attack gets the first route. Some of this is just RNG. A lot of Grand Cathay units are defensive, so it's pretty hard to show their damage values. There we go. So the bottom side gets routes. 2 out of the 3 routes were quicker. And if you look at their actual HP differences, 7,200, 7,400, 7,500. On the other side, 7,300, 7,400, 7,500. There is no significant difference in their HP. They were not significantly tankier. Their opponents did not. They routed around the same time with a slight edge to the formation, the non-formation attack. There's no reason to take formation attack. Just trust me. Turn it off. Every game, every battle, turn it off.
Subscribe, yes, yes.